Okay, here we go. Still haven't been able to figure out how to get rid of that in Omelet. So that's not good because I can't share the stream. If I do this, is there a button for that? There it is. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so A350, we've been doing some work with it. I'm going to set up for takeoff on 28 right here. So probably going to do two things here. Do a takeoff 28 right San Francisco and kind of fly the SID up to 10,000, show you how that works. Okay. Probably do a couple of takeoff runs, flaps 1, flaps 2. Show overview. I need a 28 right. 28 right, because we're going to be very heavy. Probably the gunner, huh? Yeah. All right. So let's just say we were going down to Sydney or something here. So it's gunner Bart. Okay. Simple. All right. So I'd fly here. I'm going to pop into iBooks as well. And excuse the announcements.
Flight attendants, take your seats for takeoff.
Oh, that was loud.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sean, and on behalf of the entire crew, I would like to welcome you aboard. They've just closed the aircraft doors, so at this time, I would like to ask you to turn any mobile phones and tablets you may have with you to airplane mode. Please find your seats, fasten your seatbelts, and put your tables to the upright position. Flight attendants, arm doors for departure, cross-check and report. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Now, before I bump the throttle, we're at maximum takeoff weight, as you'll notice here. I'll put the touches on even though they annoy me.
On runway 28 right.
Yes, I realize I'm on runway 28 right. Okay, so let's just pop out of here for a second, and we will go into iBooks. So I've got an A330 quick reference table here for flaps 1 plus F, right? We've tested this out, and we're using basically MTOW, max takeoff weight numbers for the A330. You can see there's 250.9 on the weight, but we want to use the max. Is this even the one I used? I can't remember here. I gotta see what I got in my sheet. I have a note in iOS from what we were working on. Okay, 49, 50, 55, 280 tons. So where is that? That's flaps 1 plus F. Where did I get this? It wasn't this one. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Aha! What page was this? Does it tell me what page it was? No, it doesn't. Of course not. Why would it? So, config 2, minimum V2. So, of course, there's nothing really available for the A350, except I found an A350 landing computation card, and I could not believe how slow the speeds were. It was at 184 tons roughly, 183.7 for landing weight. The max landing weight is 210, I believe, or 207 on the 350. Of course, we can look at that in a second. Where did I find this? What page was this? It's got to be in here somewhere. Is it this one? It's a D rate. There we go. This might be it here somewhere. Corrections, procedures, calculations. Bear with me here. I might have been using a 200. Was I using a 200? Does it say what page I was on? DLH all. Weight 1,000 kilograms. Takeoff general weight entry. That's good. Can't find the page I'm looking for. Oh, wait. There we go. So general weight entry, 1 plus F, conf 2, right? I think we got a little bit of like a 1 knot headwind, so we'll use the 0 knot. So 49, 50, 55, right? So
on runway 28 right,
we're going to go ahead and enter 49, right? Wait. 1 plus F, max weight, right? 49, so we want 144. Then we want 50, 150. And then we're going to look to rotate to 170, right? 55 and 50, whoops, see, 55 and 15 is 170. So, matter of fact, I'm going to turn off the PA for now. Okay, so we'll enter the weights here. I don't know what happened with that. Hopefully this will work. Something went sideways.
On runway 28 right.
Set the park brakes.
Flaps.
Got to reset the weight. I did not reset my 320 passengers, whole bunch of cargo, and fuel for about 14 hours. Right about there. That ought to burn off while we're waiting. So, flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Notice it goes right to 1 plus F. Set up the trim. Use about 25-28% trim. You don't want to tail strike this bad boy. And then, as we said, we'll set 170. Right. 170 will be our target speed right up here. Right? Just going to zoom in on this for a second. So, initially, we're going to rotate to right here. Oops, can't double tap it. Initially, we're going to rotate right there, 7.5. Then we're going to keep on going up to about 15. And we're going to be in a window between 15, or between 12.5 and 18 degrees, or 17.5, I guess. Right? And we're going to be looking to hold 170. I calculated the thrust for this as 96.5 N1 at
on runway
max
28
takeoff
right.
weight. Okay, so we're using 96.5 the A350 uses thrust, not N1, which you'd see in other, right? See, the thrust is there, N1's there. So 96.5 thrust rating, okay? And you will see here in just a minute when we go to take off. Let me pop in just a quick flight plan. All right, we'll do a takeoff. Gunner. And then Bart should be out here somewhere.
On runway 28 right.
And super hunts. Can't be that far, is it? I'll hopefully be flying over Bart shortly. A couple of weeks, I'll be heading off to Honolulu. We're not going to actually go this far. I'm just sticking a plan in here so I can kind of navigate. Okay. Arc. So we'll do a couple takeoffs. We'll do a flaps 1 and a flaps 2 1 plus F and a flaps 2 takeoff in the 350, and then we'll do an approach, and I'll show you the approach
on
computations.
runway 28 right.
The wing is so much more efficient than the A330. It's kind of insane, actually. It's about 5 to 7 knots less on the VREFs. Hope this thing's still streaming, is it? Yes, looks like it is. I'm just going to share this up to Slack. Chat. A350 stream. All right. Get rid of that one. Actually, I need to go back to this.
On runway 28
hate how that
right.
does that. Okie dokie. So, gonna hold the regular brakes here. Up to 50% thrust in the middle here, roughly. Stabilized. I'm gonna call this toga. .96.5, give or take. Forward sticks in. Oopsie.
100 knots.
That's checked.
V1.
Rotate. Rotate. Slow rotation now. Don't want to come too far up. Positive rates there.
Positive rate.
Retract gear.
Gear up.
Now watch as I trim out here and hold 15 degrees pitch. I'm a little bit over where I want to be. Alright, we're looking for 1,500 feet here now. So, I don't know if the temperature's different out here or what happened. I was doing this with no wind before. Okay, that's 1,500. About 5%. Nose down to 10. Positive speed trend. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Auto retraction happens at about 220. Flaps up.
Flaps up.
Alright, now I'm going to hit speed. I'm going to make sure my pitch is 8 to 10 degrees and hit vertical speed. Right? So, that's a takeoff in the A350. Do that again. My thrust settings were a little bit off there, obviously. But it's pretty bang on. I don't know if it was the wind, because I was testing it without any wind
right.
before.
Flaps.
But you'll notice I
Flaps.
used, what did I use? 28 pitch. Right? Great, it's snowing in Boston. Bring the fuel up. We'll do 280. Get up there. Okay. There we go. You can see we're in max takeoff. Max takeoff weight. I'm just going to recalibrate. Now I'm going to set up for flaps 2. Right. Conf 2. A couple of different speeds here. I'm going to get rid of the wind actually. 49, 51, 55. Right? Not much difference.
On runway 28 right.
49, 51, and still 55. Still looking for 170. Now on this one I'll use a little less trim because the flaps 2. Flaps 2. Flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
That's gonna, give you more lift, as it were. 12, 14, 15,000. 284. Arc. Hate the rows situation. And then 17.
On runway 28 right.
Right. Okay, 96.5 again, right? I wish, and I might have to talk to John about this because I think they can control that. I wish we could set thrust settings in in-flight assistant so that you could say, okay, hey, I want 96.5 thrust or, X on the N1 situation. That would be pretty cool. And also a flight director would be really cool. So, right, so off we go for
On
takeoff
runway
again.
28 right.
Park brakes to regular brakes, 50%. Stabilized. Brake release. Going for 96.5 here. Did a little more than I bargained for there. Stabilized.
100 knots.
Right at 100 knots.
V1.
V1.
Rotate.
Rotating. There it is.
Positive rate.
Retract gear.
Gear up.
So that holds just about right there. Okay, 1600. And I just made a mistake there. You want to see positive speed trim before you pull that thrust lever back. Okay, holding at 10 now. Just going to hold the heading. Shift up to 250. Let the plane accelerate naturally. I shouldn't even put vertical speed in yet. 8 to 10 degrees here. I really cooked the thrust back more than I really wanted to. There we go. About a 5% reduction is all I wanted. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Holding my pitch, holding my pitch. Alright, and then when I get to 250, right there, lock in the vertical speed, and level it on over. Let's say we would turn to the west now. Southwest. Right? So there's your A380 takeoff. I should have retracted the flaps. I messed up there too. That should have been about 225. And really, it could even be sooner. Because this wing is just... The wing on the A380 is just something else. Yeah, A350. The wing on the A350 is something else. So, that's your takeoff, okay? Let's end that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up for like a missed approach somewhere and I'd like to get like a missed approach so that we could come in and follow the arrival into one of the runways here. Let's see if we can bail out of this and follow in the arrival to San Fran. Might be a little too close. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set it up at max landing weight. Right? We're going to take a look at the numbers. Was it this one? 1 minus 10, 49, 50, 55, 51, 55, headwind, 10 knots. So the takeoff numbers for the 330 work very well. If I search 330, I got an album here somewhere. Nope. Is it in that one? Don't think it's in that. Here it is. Okay, so I think we figured out that for the A330, 160s, 128, that's abnormal. VLS, 160, that's not it. All engines, 140 is 191. Oh, that's greened up. VLS, VRF, config full, 160s, 128. Where the heck are my V speeds? Ah, yes. There we go. So, coming down here, we've got a little chart that I found for the A330, right? So, what we've kind of figured out is for every 20, this is the A330 speeds. The weight's up the top here, right? What we figured out for the A350 is that it's 20 tons difference, roughly. It's about 5 knots less, right? So if you look here, it says 180, config full is 135, right? For 180 tons, okay? Now, I found a landing computation card for a real world, nope, not that one, for a real world A350, right? Landing weight 183.6, and you'll notice here, the speeds are very low. So they're not even going to put the slats down until 187, 190 knots probably. They'll probably go 190 flaps 1. That's within the margin. So green dot speed is 187. S speed is 167, so that would be flaps 2, right? F speed is 151. And ref is 131, which means your VAP's going to be plus 5 unless the wind is over 15 knots. The wind's got to be, wind has to be 18 knots before you would use the wind versus 5 knots for an A330 or an A350. So kind of extrapolating here, right? VLS for 183.6 is 131. Okay, so that's 184 tons. And if we go back here, and this just takes a little bit of math, right? If we go back over here, the A330 for 180 tons is 136. And then you basically do, for 200 tons is 143. Okay, so on a calculator, you would say there's 7 knots. So you go 7 knots divided by 20 tons of weight is 0.35 knot per ton. So we do times 3.6 tons, get 1.26. So if we were at 183.6 tons in an A380 landing, or yeah, A380, I keep saying that, A330 landing, we would use 1.26 plus 136. So we'd be 137 for our VLS, and our approach speed would be 142, right? Now, in an A350, we've found that these speeds are a lot lower, okay? You can actually see green dot in the operating speeds here. So 180 tons, VREF's 136 again. You'd be looking at 141 with no heavy wind. So we found that it's a little bit different, right? It's more like 127. So for an A380, oh geez, I keep looking at the 180 and saying A380. A350 at 180 tons, it's 130, right? So 183.6 is 131 on an A350. So we can kind of deduce and extrapolate that an A350 is about 5 knots less for each tonnage situation here. And it may even be more. Each tonnage, for each 20 tons, it's 5 knots less, give or take. We've been playing with this a little bit. It seems to work very well, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up out of the airport, do a go around, accelerate, get it right up to 250 knots. And then we're going to use extrapolated speeds here to come on in and do a landing at San Francisco on 28 right. So that's the idea. So I'm going to set it at max landing weight in infinite flight. First, I'm going to just set up the go around, and then we'll come back and talk about the speeds. All right. Okay. Go around, flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
Actually, the A350 does have a HUD. Right up to 15, 16 degrees, climbing out. Gears coming. We're at 220 tons here. Flaps 1. Flaps 1. Let's just say 8,000, I guess. Hold the heading, do the vertical speed, give me 8,000. 8,000 there. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 0 degrees.
Flaps up.
Pretty cool picture right there. Read the map. Where the heck are we? I'm going to do a right 360 here. Clear the turn. Right 360. Okay. Should get us going north, and then I can input. I should have done the other runway and turned southbound. See if I can't find something on the arrival here. Okay. Actually, let's get right up to 10,000 just to be safe here. I'll go up to 11. But you know what? I'm going 9. Let's go at 9 for a minute. Just looking for 250 on the speed. We got it. Clear the turn. There's mountains out here, so you got to watch out for them. All right, so we just grabbed an arrival into San Francisco. Okay. Show overview. What would be coming in on here? Risty one. All right, Tracy. I saw Tracy there. Seeds at 9,000. Perfect. Anything there? 6,100. Orca. Where the heck are we? All right. Set heading 090. Set heading 090. That should be Orca. Risty. Marked. Okay, Byron. Tracy. Mobbed. And then Risty, right? Oop, what did I just do there? Whoops. Mobbed. Risty. Seeds. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Get this on nav. Once we get squared away, keep doing direct 2. I wish we could also arm nav. Source, GPS, nav, arc, and I'm going to hit direct one more time, and you'll see the plane straighten out. Okay, I'm going to fix the weight here. We're going to go right up to max landing weight, which is 207, which is 456. All right, so let's get it down to like 207 and change here, coming in at max landing weight, give or take, right? That will be 456,000 pounds and change, so we got to burn 1,000 pounds off here, right? So 207 tons is max landing weight. I got to finish the approach. 3 minutes to next, so we got plenty of time. Seeds is going to be 9,000. That's Risty. Risty 1. What about this one? Modesto 9. 73. What's the one we always come in? Bodega 3? No. It's this one. Modesto 9. Diamond 5. Everything ends at Seeds, right? Yeah, Seeds, Freely, Archie. Yeah. Expected sign. Instrument approach procedure. So we're going to go 28 right. Nothing crazy. Is this the offset localizer? Archie. Zyle, Gaia. Yeah. Archie. Zyle, Gaia. And then Seppen Axmal. Seppen should be a beam of rock meat. Dumbas for the other side. Seppen, Axmal, and then this is your runway. Okay, the wind is light, 196 at 4, so that's not what it was when I 210 at 4. I'll just give it a little bit of a headwind, nothing crazy. All right, so what do we got? 9,000. I'm going to adjust my trim here. All right. I'm going to follow this approach blade in. We're looking for 1,800 by Axmal. So we're going to do a standard JetBlue kind of approach deal here. And what we will do is I'm also going to activate that next waypoint before we get too close to it. 35 seconds. I'm going to activate the leg. So, -5 knots off the A330 VREF. So we're going to be 207. So it would be 142 -5. So 137, so 142 would be our VAP, but it's not that. 180 is 130, 200 is 135, so okay. So 35 is 5. It's gonna be like 141 on arrival here. So come on down, look at the VNAV. Seeds 9,000. Archie's mandatory 7,000. And we'll do 220 on that one. Zile gas 7. And coming down to turn on base. So we'll do 190 after that, and we'll stick at 190 to Seppen, and we'll go 170 to Axmal. 170 to Axmal, and then 141. 141. So it seems for every 20 tons of weight, and I hate using kilograms, so for every 50,000 pounds, apparently that's 20 tons times 20 times 2.205. For every 44,100 pounds, it's five knots on the A350, roughly, give or take. You'll find that at these speeds, you'll be descending on the glide slope at the appropriate altitude. What's going on here? Just redirect to Risty here. There we go. Archie's mandatory 7. 7. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Slowing up for that. Am I right? Yeah. So it's 12.5, 3.3, 7.3. So we want 190 to Seppen. So Gaia should be 190. 190 to Seppen. And then 170 to Axel. The A350 auto throttles are a little bit off, like it's, you'll notice there, it's a little bit strange. I'm gonna see if I can tune the runway here. I don't know if we're close enough yet. Okay, runways 28 right. Set nav 1, not quite. And set SFO to nav 2. So extrapolating the speeds, or interpreting them out, if at 184 tons the green dot is 187, if we add 20 tons We're looking at 23.5 tons. So we're looking at 195 or so for our first notch of flaps, which is going to be slats. And you notice here, the slower you go, the more trim you require to be neutral. That's a function of center of gravity, elevator authority, and something else. Mainly center of gravity and speed, right? To keep you level at a certain speed and a certain altitude, the elevator needs to be that much up to be able to control the plane, right? If it was just neutral, instead of being at 25%, say, if it was neutral instead of being at 25% like we've got it here, it would be struggling to control the plane, right? Now, if I was to drop the flats, right, you'd see that push forward. And I guess too, we could theoretically speaking, we could figure out what green dot is, and it's a function of weight too. Right? If we weighed less, it would be less than this to be at that speed. So remember, it's weight, speed, trim. Right? Everything's all correlated, but it all starts off of weight. So here we are coming up on Archie. 220 and 7. Alright. See, we got the clearance now. Look at that plane. Gorgeous. Right? San Fran would probably, or NorCal would probably clear us on down to 3 here. Let's see where we're going to wind up at 3. This is great feature. Right? Great feature. So it shows us at 3 at Aximal right now, even above Aximal. So we need to start getting down so we get to 3 before we get to 7. One thing about the A350, you have to be very careful with going downhill. If you're going downhill at more than, say, 1,500 feet per minute, you're going to gain speed. And see how there's still a couple of percent power on there? And see how I'm supposed to be at 220? We need, I think they're going to bring the feature request back or bump it or start a new one. We need throttleable spoilers, or multi-position spoilers. Especially to control for violations. Like, I'll bring a little bit
Flat
here,
spoilers
right?
extended.
Try to get down to 220, but look, see the thrust is already coming up on me.
Spoilers retracted.
Right? I'm looking to get down prior to 7. Looks like the ILS is tuned now. Just going to double check. ILS is now tuned. Now see, I'm descending here. My speed's going up because I'm at 1,500 feet.
Flat spoilers extended.
Got a lot of weight on, so let's pull that back. It's really, really hard to get down and slow down in this plane. Right. What is the limit? It should be like 250. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and drop the slats under 220. Flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Gotta try to get some of that speed off. And we really need to level out before we get to, right? Now, as I understand
Spoilers retracted.
in the A350, right, now watch the trim here. See the trims looking for more trim? As I understand it, I believe the A350 and A380 both use 1+F as a landing setting as well. I'd have to find that out. Alright. Now I'm just trying to get that trim in there. I've found it's usually about 50% as you're landing. What did I set for a 90, 170, 141, so 136 we said. Okay. Flaps 2. Flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
Right. Start descending on the glide slope here. We're 1 dot above. It's a big configuration change. You see how we kind of buoyed out, even though we got down. I'm going to take that off of that. Okay, start going downhill again. And we're 170 to aximal. At aximal, that's where we'll drop everything, hang it all out. Trying to be as gradual on the trim as I can, but notice it's zeroed out. Slight left crosswind. Okay, here comes aximal. Want to leave a little bit of fudge factor for the configuration change. Gear down. Gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 3.
Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Flaps full.
Whoopsie. I always do that. Turn off altitude and not, right? So now we're at VAP. We're fully configured for landing. Right? She's stabilizing here. And I'll be looking for 2.5 degrees, 2 to 2.5 degrees as we descend on the glide slope. And let's take the nav off so we've got full control except for the auto thrust. And my calibration's a little messy. There we go. Now look at that, we're bang on 2.5 degrees, right? Just a touch below glide. Could use a little more trim.
1,000.
The center line's right about here, 1,000, we're stabilized. Sync is a little bit much, got a little out of shape there. There we go, right there's where we want it. Alright.
Approaching 28 right.
Little low, but we're good on the pappies. Keeping that at 2.5 degrees, 2 to 2.5. We're looking to flare to about 5. Get that slight crosswind set in there. Fully visual now. Got my aim point on. Now remember, the A350 does have a HUD. Yeah, see that? There we go.
Approaching minimums.
Okay. Getting a little bit high now.
Minimums.
Sinking too fast.
100.
Ground effect's going to come out
50,
here.
40, 30, 20,
Retard.
10.
Landing spoilers extended.
All right, not a bad landing. Not a great landing. So let's go back and take a look at that. I had bad calibration the whole way there. So let's take a look at that and see if we got it right. So let's go over here. All right. So autopilot's coming out here. All right, on target. I was sinking a little too fast. All right, we're looking for that flare. Round out, flare. Landed early. Oh, right on the money. Not bad. Could have been better. I had some calibration issues. So let's set up another approach, and we'll do it at 183.6, just like we saw in the all right, this time will be fully configured, so all we're going to have to do is get the trim squared away, all right, and reset the weight. So let's set the weight to 183.6. That's not very much fuel, is it? Okay, let's take this cargo out. This thing's a cargo beast. Take some of the passengers out. 200. How much cargo is that? There's still 30,000 pounds of cargo. All right. Okay, so let's see now. There we go. So our VAP here is going to be via this, right? 183.6 tons, right? Landing weight. Ref is 31, app is 36, okay? So let's pop back in. So I'm going to be looking for 136 on the speed right off the rip here. I'm going to try to get a better calibration in. Okay, so trimming up, right? 136. And you'll see that good landings are all about the right speed. See, we're pretty much bang on 2.5 degrees there.
1,000.
You can do it in the HUD to actually show, right? A little bit of set, tiny bit of set. But see here, we're 2.5 degrees. I still have, it's just kind of the way, I think it's the way I'm sitting.
Approaching 28 right.
All right, now if you're faster than this, your nose is going to be lower, right? And I have not figured out yet. I might just go ask the question on P-trim, or pilot forums, right?
500.
Stabilized 500. Stable target, sink 770.
400.
Right, there's that.
300. Approaching minimums. 2 minimums. 100.
All right, here we go.
50. 40.
Rounding out.
20.
Retard.
10.
Landing spoilers extended.
All right, let's see where we landed there.
On runway 28 right.
All right. Let's see how this one looks. But it's all about the VREFs. And even 136 felt a little fast there, you know? Where did we actually start? Okay. So, speeds aren't going to be right, but 2.5 degrees, right? 2 to 2.5. Right? 136 roughly. Right? 2.5 degrees. That might even be a little fast. It's just, there's nothing readily available. That's the big problem. Right? So here comes the autopilot out. And 2 degrees, I would say. Nose up right there. Maybe 1.8. I've watched a bunch of A350 landing videos, so here comes the round out. The flare, power's off. Right, nice and gentle. What did we, see what the touchdown angle is. 5.5 to 6, I would say. Yep, 5.5 maybe. Touchdown speed's 118, ground speed. Not sure if I bled off too much there. I mean, you're only looking for a 5-knot bleed off. But I digress. That's kind of how you do the A350. It's I gotta be honest with you. Be careful in your descents. That is the most important thing I can tell you. Be careful in your descents, because if you're not, it could be a violation making machine. Like, no kidding. Like, it does not slow down while it goes down. I hope that's been a helpful stream. We'll try to post these on the website here, not too long from now, and see what the story is. Alrighty then.